right.
Hi, this is
All
Paul,
right.
and Dave and I are going to give a little update on Southwestuary. Southwestuary is here's the I'm
Southeastuary.
sorry, Southeastuary.
Yeah.
Gosh. I am going now. Last time Dave and I spoke, I was on the fence, and I am definitely coming. And he's got a big list of participants. So I don't know. What do you want to say?
Well,
People are going to
you know,
miss out. They gotta sign up.
yeah. Basically, I wanted to say, I wanted this to be kind of a FOMO promo. Your fear of missing out on an estuary conference because perhaps you wanted to go to Midwestuary and you weren't able to, or you're going to buy your ticket to Midwestuary and you're like, what is this? It's already happened. Well, you are in luck because there's another one happening called SouthEastuary, which is kind of hard to spell. It's SoutheastUary.com, and that will bring you to our website. What we're thinking of doing is having, no, not for every speaker or guest, but we're going to have conversations between two or more people on stage. And Nate Heil himself doesn't have a speech, but he's going to be on stage with the others as a kind of midwife in the conversation. And so there will be sort of a miniature estuarial kind of dialogue or dialogos between people on the stage for many of them, and you can see the schedule there. And we felt that that was something interesting and maybe a little new, but not outside of the boundaries of the spirit of estuary. Um, and that's why there's kind of so many people on the roster. But so if you're looking for an estuary conference, we got one. And so there's tickets on the website. And you're going to be, I think this may be the first estuary conference, official estuary conference that sort of is at a retreat center surrounded by, pretty much pretty soon the wilderness. So this is a little bit different than the other ones, perhaps a little more inconvenient once you land at the airport because you'll have to drive about 40 minutes. But I promise it's worth it. So,
Well, and I think it won't be, at least at this point, it won't be as large as Midwestuary.
no, we're not even selling that nearly the number of
Yeah.
tickets
And
that
so
they
I
want.
think the benefit of that is there'll be more access to speakers. It'll be easier to talk to them. My guess is
Definitely.
that all of the speakers are all the speakers going to participate in the estuary groups?
That's a
I
good
know
question.
I know
I know
I am.
some of them, yeah, but you are, and I know John Van Donk is.
Yeah.
I would say probably Joseph and Sherry are thinking about doing it. Nate is going to do it. As far as the others, they're perfectly welcome to. I'm going to ask, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, part of the deal is that we have an auditorium that holds only 100 people. I'm
Okay.
selling 80 tickets.
Okay.
There's 20 of us, including the speakers and myself, and some other people who asked early on, can I gain admission? I don't have enough money, and I wanted to be able to do that. And so we pretty much reached capacity for the number of people we can let in for free, but you could still buy a ticket. And what else might you need to know? Oh, we're going to have some live music entertainment the first night on Friday night. Well, let me back up first and go chronologically. We're going to have a barbecue, a traditional Nate Heil barbecue in Allen Creek Park um, in Waynesville, North Carolina. Yes, and that's on Thursday, October 16th. And we're gonna do our will call registration and hand out your name tags and all that kind of good stuff. Now we'll have another one early morning on Friday, just in case you didn't go to the barbecue and came in late or whatever. Um, but after that, I would say that we're going to the conference room. Um, and yeah, we're going to have the conference. For anyone who I would encourage you to buy breakfast, I was sort of sold these breakfast tickets by the conference and retreat center, which is perfectly fine, because I think they'll all sell. But I would encourage you to buy the breakfast. Otherwise, I would have set it up differently. Um, but hindsight's 2020. Now, the ticket sales have been going well, where something like half the tickets have sold. So, um, I got a little more confident and added lunch for free for anyone who buys a ticket before October 3rd. So if you buy it on October 2nd, you're fine. And then after that, I can't give you a free lunch. So by all means, there is an incentive to buy it before October 3rd, which is that you will get free lunch. If you don't get free lunch, however, it's not the end of the world. There is a restaurant on site. There are restaurants in Waynesville, North Carolina, a little town just outside. And that's a 15, 20-minute drive. You might only have like 20 or 25 minutes to eat if you do that, but nevertheless, you can. Or you could bring a lunch or whatever you want to do.
I like
So,
I like that it's at a retreat center because that's going to mean um, a little bit more convivial atmosphere where you'll just have more leisure time to spend with the other people at the conference. And I also like a smaller conference where you're just gonna, I mean, I thought Midwestuary was great. We had
yeah,
350 people.
it was really great.
Awesome. And some people like big events because there's a certain energy to a big event. I
Mhm.
tend to prefer small events because you'll just have more opportunity to meet people and to get to know them a little bit. And most of the, all of the participants, um, I mean, these are all very approachable, easy to get to know people. Esther's been on the channel. Jordan Wood's been on my channel. He's on Nate's channel
Mhm.
quite often.
Yeah.
Michael Martin, if you haven't met Michael in person, you really want to meet Michael in
Yeah,
person. He
yeah.
is a
So I
lot of
haven't met
fun.
him in person, but we've had an email exchange, which
Yeah.
was rather pleasant and
Oh,
fun.
he's
So,
so much fun. Michael is
yeah.
so much fun. Jordan Hall, of course, many of you know who he is. He's also, very personable. As you've seen, he's on all these tiny little randos channels, which is really
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
JD Lionheart is probably the least known person, but if you're sort of catching up on Nate's channel, he's on there quite a bit. Also very personable.
Yeah.
I think he'll be totally cool to hang out with. And of course, Nate and Sherry and Yosef and Jonathan Donk, they're all known entities. So I
Yeah, and I'm
think,
hoping that will foster this kind of atmosphere of we're all one group instead
yeah,
of these different splintered off groups. I'm sure, you're welcome to go do something with a group at night if you don't want to do what the main group is doing, but we do have a couple of activities.
yeah.
The first is on Friday, October 17th, and that's Murphy Campbell. She's a Appalachian folk singer, and she's going to be performing at the Scotsman, which is a pub in Waynesville, North Carolina. So, it says in the evening there we're gonna have dinner there, and then at 8 p.m. her set starts. And then at 8 p.m. we're gonna do forgive me, Yosef, if I mispronounce this, but Havdalah, which is some form of singing prayers, I believe, followed by a sing-along around the campfire with Michael Martin. Now, that campfire is for my Verbo because I've got a fire pit, so it's not going to be in the campground. But if you are camping, you're welcome to come there, and everybody's welcome to come. I'm not sure how much parking I'll have. It looked like there's room for like six, seven, eight vehicles though from the picture. And yeah, I mean, I just really think this is gonna be um a time where people form or strengthen really good friendships, especially in the after hours. Um, so I really think that you should come, whoever
Yep.
you are. You're welcome. So,
Yep. Absolutely. I think I'm very excited about this conference. I'm really looking forward to it. And again, I have memory. It's set up in some ways, sort of like the SouthEstuary conference that happened, and that conference just went really, really well. And that one didn't have the added dimension of it being in a conference center where people
mhm.
are spending much more of their time together. So I
Yeah.
anticipate it's really
Yeah,
going to
and you can
be.
walk, well, a walk around this lake is like maybe 4 miles in circumference, 4.5 miles. And if you do that, you'll see pretty astonishing beauty as you do, the changing colors of the fall in the
Oh yeah,
mountains. Yeah.
I don't know. Is this as mid-October about the time you get the fall colors there?
Hmm.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
should be gorgeous. Well, it's been years since I've been to that part of the country. I've never really been to exactly that part of the country. I did a spring break in the Smoky Mountains in Georgia one year, but I've never
Okay.
really been to this part of the country. So I've
Right.
actually got a couple cousins that live quite close by. I tried to get them to come to the conference, but one of them is going to be visiting friends in New Orleans during the
Okay.
conference and coming back right after the conference, and the other one will be taking care of his kids. So I
Okay.
failed at that. I might
That's all
um,
right.
but I'm hoping that I can get those cousins involved in some of this stuff because I think actually they'd really go for it, and it just demonstrate that there are other Vanderclays out in the world that are tall and
Appalachian
have
Vanderclays.
Appalachian Vanderclays. They're tall, they have big voices, they have big beards, big gray beards at this point, and yeah, they only live um, they only live about an hour away from the venue there, so they're fairly
Yeah.
close. So cool. All right.
Oh,
Anything else, Dave? Just buy your tickets, get them soon.
yeah.
I
Just
I
buy, 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 buy.
yeah. I
Buy, baby, buy.
It wouldn't take a lot for this thing to sell out.
It wouldn't. The way it's been going, it seems something like yeah, it seems something like we're getting to the number of tickets that are being sold. We got there after Midwestuary mostly.
Yeah.
We get to about half the ticket
Yeah.
sales.
Yeah.
And so if you think about that time frame, it's about the same until the
Yeah.
conference
Yeah.
starts. Who knows? Maybe the brakes will slow down, but the brakes will be put on, or maybe the accelerator pedal will be
Yeah.
pushed down.
Well,
But either way,
at about 1 or 2 weeks before Midwestuary, they had about 300 sold, and eventually they had about 350.
mhm,
And so those last couple weeks, when people sort of know their schedule and
mhm.
they've been thinking about it,
Go ahead and buy a ticket. Yeah.
and given the fact that it's a smaller conference, if in fact, if you don't move on it, I'd say probably within the next couple of weeks, you
Yeah,
might
that's
not
about
get
right.
in. So
Yeah,
I
but
would definitely
basically,
recommend.
and you want to buy your ticket before October 3rd because that gives you free lunch.
Yeah,
Because I have to I would make it the day before the conference, but I have to give the conference center the final head count
yeah,
for lunch
yeah,
and for breakfast
yeah.
on October 3rd. So if
Yeah.
you order it on as late as October 2nd, you'll still get free lunch.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So there is such a
yep,
thing as a free lunch, at least at
there is
Southeastuary.
in this case.
All right. Well, very good. Well, I'm going to end the recording.
All
So
right. Thanks so much, Paul.
thank you, Dave.